What is going on? What is going on? It is Cleveland Terry Show, Tech Thursday, and I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do some stuff, I guess. Sometimes you go to bed and you think everything's fantastic, like me having to blow my nose in just a second. But you go to bed and then you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do this, but you do it anyway. That's the key. Sometimes you got to get up and do the things you don't want to do. That could be going to the gym. That could be, I don't know, eating right. That could be, I don't know, taking your daughter out or your wife out to dinner. Sometimes you just got to do it. So today is one of those days where I know there's other stuff that's on my mind. Not pressing stuff. Just some things that I got to get off my plate. And I'm trying to slowly get things off my plate. Fortunately, sorry, I was eating some protein and now it's like in my mouth. Fortunately, this is a slower month for us, which for most people would say, oh, that's a bad thing. And yes, I guess technically it is a bad thing that it's, slower month. We are always slow over the holidays. That includes Easter and Passover. Same thing. So people just don't want to do bar and bat mitzvahs in this month. We have 2 months where we go dark basically in the entire year. One is around April. And obviously the holiday changes per year, just like Easter. You never know when it's going to be. It's based upon calendars. So, we're pretty dead. We have 8 parties. So we are dead in April and we are dead in July. In July, we're only dead because nobody wants to book their bar and bat mitzvahs over the break. People just try to avoid it. So anyway, so I have some time on my hands to clean some stuff up, to get some stuff prepared, because in May, no lie, and this is the funny thing about it, we're dead in April. Dead in April, right? 5 to 8 parties. I got to even look and see. In May, we have, no lie, I believe 45 events. And this is only on Saturday. 45 events. So, in those 45 events, we do have several out of state parties. Congratulations. Thank you. It's a double-edged sword. I'm very happy about it, but I just wish that these people would break up their events a little bit here, because that's crazy. Just break them up a little bit, spread them out just a little bit. Is that too much to ask? You don't have to put all 9 or 10 events on that Saturday. You can break it up, but they don't. And that doesn't factor in the first 2 weeks of June, which are also 9 and 10 party days. So there's going to be a lot of work. That's funny, Big D. There's going to be a lot of work for the next, once we hit May 3rd, we have 9 parties. 9 parties, 2 in the Bay Area, 1 in Arizona, 1 in Vegas. I think 1 in Vegas. Some light installs, LED wall, and it just keeps going. I'm in Arizona, I think the 3rd week of May. It's just a lot. Anyway, it's a lot. So, there we go. We'll get through it. Do you book events in Texas? You know what? I have booked events in Texas, but I have not been there in a long time. So yes and no at the same time. I will go wherever Let's see here. We've booked. We have booked obviously California, Arizona, Oregon. These are all events all states I've had events in. Oregon, Canada, Mexico, Montana, I know we've been to Denver. We just booked New Orleans, Montana, Utah, Texas. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that might be it. Tulum, Daniel. Oh, I mean, obviously, Tulum. War and Peace in the building. Talk about a man that knows about travel. In Idaho. Thank you. Yes, we did. We've been in Idaho too. Talk about a man that knows how to travel. That's War and Peace. If you guys aren't using one of the best record pools on the planet, BPM Supreme. I kid. Direct Music Services, aka DMS. So yeah. So I'm very happy to obviously have the experience. I would like to, before I stop doing the big things, I would love to hit every state. Every state. That's what I'd love to do. And one of the things that, look, I don't want to hear it, guys. I don't want to hear it. Look, I've never been to New York. It's on my list. It's just been a little busy, but I've never been to New York. So after Eva's my daughter's bat mitzvah, when we don't have to spend ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, we still do. The kid's in dance until she's 18. So she's 13 now. So we still have 5 more years of spending unnecessary money until we spend unnecessary money for college. So I am looking forward to doing that. 45 states down is impressive. That's impressive. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some states that I don't ever want to go to. And I've been to certain states. I haven't worked in every state, but there are some states that I'm like, I don't need to be there. You know, I had some relatives that were military, and they were like, hey, you should come here. We live, in Alabama. No, I'm good. What do you mean? I'm good. It's just a state I don't personally need to go to. You can say all you want. I'm good. Hold on while I blow my nose without you guys looking at me funny. So just sit tight. I got to update my videos. They are a little old, but I do have to update them. Okay. So that's why I need to update my videos, because when people are like, I thought it was going to be the T7, we were having no bets, no nothing. I need to get my stuff together, which we will this week. So I got more time. Is ultimately what I'm trying to say. So I want to use this time effectively, besides just going to the gym and, doing better. But there are things that I'm constantly improving. So they always take up a little bit of my brain power. For instance, since we're doing all these walls, and I'm in Resolume, and I'm in all of these plugins, and doing more lighting with the WMX and all these things. Like, there's just some things that I just want to make sure that are at the top level. Now, here's the thing. For the past, I want to say 7 years. For the past 7 years, I have been using everything, all kinds of equipment, fixtures, software, everything. I've used it all. And this is the first time in like a few years where I'm like using very specific stuff all the time. And I'm enhancing it and tweaking it and getting it to the level that I know they should be at. A lot of times it's like, okay, we're here and I've gotten it to work properly, but it's still not where it should be. No more VJs? What does that mean? No more VJs. So I've just been really just making my show the best show it can be. And I'm not talking about even just like, I'm DJing a party. But anything, if I'm doing the video wall, if I'm doing lighting, we're doing lighting installs or whatever, I just want it to be the best it can be. So I'm getting my stuff up to a point where I've now kind of made my decision on what I'm using. Gee, Kenny in the house. What's going on, fam? On what I'm using, just like on an everyday basis. Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, what are you talking about? We use the same stuff every week. I completely understand. I haven't had that situation in a long time. So I've started to go, I don't want to look at other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I will review other stuff, but I don't want to always have everything new on my show because it can affect the performance. I've always been, solid, in need of another VJ or 3. Need. Yeah, this is true. This is what I do. I do need them. We'll get there. I got some people right now that are currently looking into it, doing some soft training. So we'll see. Justin, the DJ in the house. What's going on, fam? Okay. DJ Nene asks, what do you think of Serato DJ and Apple Music? I think that and this has nothing to do with you. I think that it's silly that we're bringing this up like it's such a big deal. It's not a big deal. There have been streaming services for years. Apple Music worked with DJ for years. So I don't think anything of it. I think it's just another streaming service. Just like when Amazon Music came out, there were some people that were like, yeah, I love Amazon Music. I, for one, didn't personally care. And I don't think that the market really supports Amazon Music, but that's neither here nor there. I think it's fine. And it does fine. Now, I will say this, one of the big things for me, guys, we're going to get through all this. That's why it said Serato in the comments. One of the big things for me is I am an Apple Music subscriber. All of my playlists are in Apple Music. So when I had to get, before Apple Music was available, and to a certain extent, we're still working on if Apple Music is truly available, at least in Serato. But I've had to convert like all of my playlists to Tidal, because that's my other streaming service that I use is Tidal. If I'm in Serato, I've been using Tidal. If I'm in DJ, I can use Apple Music. So I have to use Tidal on occasion, and Tidal's a great streaming service. Honestly, it's a great streaming service. Apple Music will be a great streaming service. Once they get through, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Completely honest. Now, you guys know that I have a brand new computer, okay? And I kind of got into it with a DJ help desk dude who clearly didn't know who I was, since my name says Terry in the DJ help desk. I know this. I've made this joke before. I will continue to make this joke. Guys, we're going to talk about all this stuff. It's literally in the title. It's in the title of the thing. SERATO Sale. Why are you trying to jump ahead? Why are you trying to jump ahead? Anyway, so you guys have been messing with my train of thought. Anyway, now I remember. So, no, I forgot. Thanks, guys. You screwed it all up. You screwed it all up jumping ahead. Let me see if I can recount here. Yeah, can't remember now. You ruined it. You ruined it. I know the DJ help desk. I just can't. I know a new laptop. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. So, so somebody had asked about Apple Music on help desk. Hey, blah, 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 I'm having some trouble with it. It's been crashing a little bit on me. And the guy comes in and says, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's absolute user error. Get yourself a better computer and you won't have to worry about these things. So I just chimed in under Terry Bowens. I just chimed in. Hey, I have a MacBook Pro M4 Max with 64 gigs of RAM and 4 terabyte hard drive. Is mine underpowered? That's all I said. And he came back and said something to the effect of, it's not my job to tell you what's proper. Okay, you know, typical bullshit. You know what I mean? Somebody's losing an argument and they just go that other way. It is a tactic that has been used in certain groups for a while now. Okay, so it's a tactic. Just throw it back on them. Whatever. So, you know, I just kind of kept going like, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with this and blah, blah, blah. And he got mad. He's like, what's your problem, man? What's your problem? And then, of course, somebody had to come in and say, hey, you might want to listen to him. He kind of knows what he's talking about. You know, that's Cleveland Terry, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I go to bed. I wake up. I go back to the thread. What do you know? Parts of the thread are gone. Wow. How weird. How weird. Like I've said, you DJs, not you DJs, but DJs in general are assholes. Most DJs think they know more than everyone, no matter what information that other person has. And if you try to correct or say something, they will try to check you every opportunity they get. DJs in general got major problems. These are just facts. I've experienced it. When they don't know who I am, they are disrespectful. They'll say some things without even thinking about it. You know, they'll try to hurt people's feelings for no reason. And that's really why I chimed in, because there was a guy that is always asking questions on the help desk. He's clearly like a newer guy, you know, and he's always asking and people always want to help him. But some people just, they don't want to hear it. And it's literally called the DJ help desk. So if you're on the DJ help desk, maybe help or shut the hell up. Trust me, there have been plenty of times where I've seen a thread on there and gone, and I start typing, and then I'm like, delete. Because I know it's the help desk. It's there for a reason. So we all get it. We all get annoyed. Sometimes you'll read something. It's the same thing over and over again. And you're just like, and then you just back away. I have been seriously preaching and practicing the back away. You know, when you're starting to type something and you're like, wait a minute. I don't even know who this man is. I've never met this man. I'm never going to see this man. Why am I even getting involved in this? You know what I think now? Okay, I don't know. Look, I'm in California, so we have a rather large homeless population walking the streets. Most of them crazy, okay? Mentally ill for whatever reason, okay? But most of them crazy. Anyway, have you ever argued with a crazy person? Like if you were walking down the street or driving down the street and some dude just starts screaming out, pancakes and guns. I'll eat you as I kill you. You're going to turn around and go, hold on, sir. I heard what you said and I believe this. Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to walk the hell away from them and give them as much physical space as possible? Which one is it? Which one is it? You're going to walk away. And that's the thing that I'm now starting to institute into my life, into the social media world. If you're crazy, why am I arguing with you? I don't argue with crazy in my real life. That's dumb. It's dumb. So I back away. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a better man. I'm trying. Trust me. There are times when I won't. You see, no. Uno, I don't tell anybody who I am. I never mention it. I never mention it ever. I let them just do their thing and then I laugh at it. Never. Because I know the story. I've already seen the ending to the story. It's always the same. Oh, either they delete what they've said or they come back and like, oh, I didn't know it was you. Blah, 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 blah. Damage is already done, pal. You've already shown your true colors. So it doesn't matter anymore. Now, I'll still be cordial, whatever. But you know that I know who you are. So it's never going to be that way. Because I want to see how you are when you don't think there's somebody of importance. And I put that in quotation marks because I'm not important. But I know that's what you want to see. Anyway. Okay. DJ Dustin, I'm considering switching from PC to Mac because I want to run stems live. Current laptop is overdue also. Any recommendations on pro versions of M1, 2, 3, and 4, and why that model? First off, that's way too many questions. Why that model? Here's the thing. Okay? Bottom line here. M1 processor or higher will give you everything you need. There's no N model and Y because then it's really getting into preferences, okay? For instance, the Airs don't have fans. The Pros have fans. The entry-level Pro only has one fan. The one above it has two fans. So in general, you can do stems and everything right off a MacBook Air. Okay? That's in general. However, if you happen to be running your computers in super hot environments or humid environments, I'd recommend going with one with a fan. Does not matter which one. They will all do stems properly. All of them. Real time, no issues. No issues. My M1, I have an M1 Mac that I had for years before I got this M4. And by the way, I hate this M4. Now, I don't hate the M4 because it's an M4. I hate it because it's a 16. I don't like 16s. I do not. I don't like them. But I have to use it for all the other stuff I'm doing. But oh my God, I'd rather have a 14. I would rather have a 14. Okay, this is the 14 right here with the case. All right, it's got a case on it, so it adds some weight to it. This is the 16 without a case. It feels like it's a pound heavier. It's big. Look at the size of this thing. Look at it. It's big. I don't like it. I like what it can do, but I don't like it. Look at this difference. Look at this difference. Look at this difference. Look at the difference in size. That's crazy. Yeah, we are lined up. Of course, my eyes appreciate the 16. Of course they do. I agree, but I used to take this guy everywhere. Okay, let me say this. Before the 14, I've always been a big MacBook, not MacBook, iPad Pro guy. You know, I've always had the 11s. When I got this 14, I used this thing a lot more, and I started to question the need for the iPad Pro until I got the 16. Now with the 16, I've been using my iPad so much more because it feels big I'm so glad Pablo's not here. I'm so glad, but it feels big when I pick it up. When I grab it in my hands, it feels big. Anyway. So, that was for Pablo. Oh Lord. Okay, so bottom line is any M1 will do fine. Anyone, M1, M2, M3, M4. Now, I will tell you the differences between the M1, M2, M3, and 4. I'll do that for you because I'm feeling nice today. All right. Now, this isn't going to be purely scientific. This is just stuff that I've known, heard over. M1, obviously, that's the trendsetter. That's the one that changed the game. Okay. M1 Pro. I would definitely go with at least an M1 Pro. And the reason why I would go with an M1 Pro over just a standard M1 is because every generation, every chip update, it's taking what used to be the best and making it the baseline in general. Okay. So like my M1 Pro, and I didn't even get like the beginning M1 Pro. I got like the one right before the Max. That one now is like M3 entry. Okay. It really, like, it's just so different now. So if you're going to do one, get like an M1 Pro on the M1. M2, M3, M4, doesn't matter which one you get. They're going to be better than the M1s regardless. That's it. So the M1s, obviously the best. They made them too good. That's why people didn't want to upgrade. M2, iteration, you know, it was a little better. Still, if you had an M1, no reason to get the M2. It was just a little better. They updated some things. M3, faster processor, but harder on the battery. Okay. It ran hotter than in the M2 or the M1 because they needed to do something to show the actual processor bump, a reason to actually upgrade from a 1 or 2 to a 3. It still didn't work because it ran hot, so the battery didn't last as long. People wanted a long battery and something to be powerful. Okay. And they were trying to shrink their the die on it, and the M3 they didn't shrink it. So M4 comes around. M4 is the first processor since the M1 that if you're going to upgrade, you should absolutely upgrade. The M1 to the M4. The M4 finally gives you still great battery power, but a ridiculous processor, ridiculous GPU. It's the one that, if you have the money, you get the M4. Okay. But if you don't, any one of them will do fine. Hopefully that answered your question. I just copped a 13-inch M1 for about $500 on Amazon for a quick replacement for my 2019 Intel. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Completely different. night and day, night and day. No more of the bottlenecks. And my M4, that thing. So this will actually bring me to one of my things. So my M4 has not breathed hard at all since I've owned it. And I've been rocking, get a cover. You get a cover. Now, I will ask you this, okay? And I'm a cover guy, okay? But I will ask you this. I am Preacher Man. What purpose for you does the cover serve? Let me know. M2 Pro refurbished, M4 Pro refurbished. This is a refurb. This is a refurb. I saved like $700 on the refurb. And it's brand new. Brand new. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so I'm going to get a cover at some point, but my covers have never been to protect the computer, in all honesty. They've just been to, have my logo or something I like, but I'm very sad. I'm very sad because I don't want a non-glare screen protector. You guys are projecting. You're projecting. I've been using Macs my entire life. Never needed a screen protector. Why? First off, we're DJs, so most of the time we're operating in total darkness. So that's not necessary. And if you're operating outside in sunlight, use something better than your computer or find some shade. But the screen protectors or the nano coatings, if you're into like video production and you need, color accurate screens. Yes, I get that. But for most people, you don't need a screen protector. It's just going to dull out your screen, and if you're worried about somebody, looking over your shoulder and, watching you look at porn, don't look at porn at the airport. Anyway, I do love covers because it's an easy way to kind of put your name out there, but they don't make this one anymore. And I really love this guy, but they don't make this one anymore. I've been looking for it. It's gone. I mean, technically I guess I could just make it myself, but I really love this case. And you know what else I have this thing about? I love flowers. Not in a gay way, but I'm a big sunflower guy. Like, I love sunflowers. So every time my birthday comes around or, Valentine's Day or whatever, if I get flowers, whatever, my wife will get flowers. There'll be sunflowers. In bright daylight, that's why we have daylight mode. So I get it. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm saying I don't need it. And I don't need to pay for the reflective coating, which is a premium, just because I'm DJing in the daytime. That's all I'm saying. But you do you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Anyway, so that brings me back to to this computer right here. Because when I was replying to Mr. You Ain't Shit Terry Bowens, when I was replying to him, the reason that I was replying was because on Saturday I had a party. By the way, I was using the EV Evolve 70s. Won't have a video on it. Yes, I'm actually putting the Evolve 70s Maui video up right after this. Anyway, I won't have a video review of it this week because they sat up on an elevated stage, and I want to make sure that I hear them on the ground like real men do, not elevated in the air. Now, don't get me wrong. I was surprised at how good the bass sounded elevated, because typically speaking, if you put your subs on a stage or whatever, they don't sound the same. Frequencies are just different, and it's probably because of the way the human ear hears audio, and it feels weird, but it still sounded good. I will tell you right now, just so you know, even though I'm going to do the review on them, and at a certain point, they're not the 90s. They don't hold up well. I keep seeing all these people that keep asking me, let me know how these speakers do in the places where you had the 90s. Why? Why? I can tell you, they don't work as well. And in some of these places, they're going to get absolutely swallowed up. The whole point is application, knowing which speakers work best in a specific environment. And I'm not going to take my 70s to a soundstage with 200, 230 people. Not going to do that. I know it's not going to work. I mean, it'll work to an extent, but I know it's not going to be impressive and I know it's not going to be good. So no, I don't need to take the 70s where I took the 90s. I don't. However, the 70s are good. And they do fill in a gap that was needed. Okay. So, so I had all my music. Okay. Now, for the record, just so people know, I rarely stream. I am a stream. If somebody asks you for a song that isn't popular yet, stream. If there's a random song that grandma wants you to play that maybe you don't have. Oh, do you have that 1974 version of so and blah, blah, blah? Let me look, grandma. Let me see. I got it right here. Here you go, grandma. She's like, oh my God. Thank you. What are these? I'm getting hot. Anyway, so I'll play those songs. Now, if I didn't need any song. I had just updated my entire catalog. So I was rocking whole night. Everything was good. I had every song that I needed besides like one song. And it wasn't even important. Okay. So I'm DJing normally. It's been about 3 hours. Okay. 3 hours. And, I had, before we started, like during the day, I had opened it up because I was like, let me see if this is something that I even want to do. Like I'll get a playlist and then I'll convert it to Apple Music, or if it was Apple Music, I'll just add it to my playlist. By the way, one big problem with Apple Music, I don't know if this applies to Tidal or anything else, but one big issue with Apple Music in general, if you are an Apple Music user, like you use it all the time, right? If somebody sends you a playlist and you put that playlist in your Apple Music, there is no easy way to delete that playlist. Yes, you can delete the playlist, but all them dumbass songs are still in your Apple Music, messing up your algorithm. That is the one flaw. They don't have a delete playlist and delete all the songs in the playlist. That's the one thing that is crazy. Nothing in my coffee. It's decaf too. Maybe I just slept well today and I'm just energized before I go to the gym today. That's it. Anyway, so, you guys all got jokes today. So I went to, it was about 3 hours into the party. Party was good. Party was really good up until the kids destroyed the bathroom. It was about 3 hours into the party. And mom says, I need the microphone. Anyway, I need the microphone. She gets on the microphone, says, I don't know who raised you, but that bathroom is an embarrassment. You guys should be ashamed. I want to continue to have this party. And someone's always like, it's so-and-so. She's like, I don't care who it is. I just wanted to stop. And then she did the thing. She said, I'm very disappointed in you. And oh my God, if that didn't kill that party, right when she said that, I literally watched the room deflate. Like, oh, not mom disappointment, and like killed the party. People were calling their parents, like, come get me. Like, this party's over. Like, the last hour was pulling teeth to keep people on that dance floor. It just sort of, oh God. So I'm DJing just normally. And I'm like, hey, you know what? And I don't mean destroyed in that way. I mean, like, Like, okay, there's candy bars and there's, obviously there's food buffets and stuff. Apparently the kids just like brought everything they got that night and they just threw it everywhere in the bathrooms and stepped on it and rubbed it on the walls. And it was just bad for no reason. Okay. So I'm going to pen some things that I want to answer. So anyway, so we're just sitting there. It was just sitting there, Apple Music, right? I'm like, you know what? Let me just see. I haven't used it, blah, blah, blah. It logged in. And the good news about Apple Music, one of the things that I do love about it is, especially if you have a MacBook with the Touch ID, no passwords to remember. I go log into Apple Music, bam, pops up with my little fingerprint. Done. It's done. Still an extra step because it's the login, then it's the get mixing, then it's a lot. They really need to fix that. I don't need to keep seeing the damn sign that says get mixing. Okay. Once I've seen it one time, Serato needs to just remove that sign. I don't need to see that sign anymore. And that sign has always been a big concern for me because when they first came out with streaming services, that was like one of the bottlenecks. Like it would lock up on that get mixing sign and it would just drive me nuts. So, open up Apple. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And again, I'm not even using it. I'm not streaming anything, but I'm searching. I'm like, oh, there was one song I was playing Bye 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 in sync. And I had a bad copy. And I had previously downloaded a better copy on my other computer, but I think it's sitting like in a download folder or whatnot. It was, so I had to play my old one. Anyway, my old one has a skip on in the chorus where it kind of like drags for a minute. So I what was I saying? Okay. So I was like, oh, well, you know what? Let me see if Bye Bye Bye. I'm going to pull Bye 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 up and I can just start it at the, second verse. I open it up. It's there. I haven't even loaded it yet. Okay. And I'm getting the beach ball. Now, we all know the beach ball is never good. And if you see a beach ball in 2025, something has gone horribly wrong. Okay. So I saw the beach ball. I kind of waited a couple of minutes, like not a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, like, okay, you're going to come back. You're going to come back. After about 10 to 15 seconds and it was still the beach ball, I'm like, it's crashing. I already know it's crashing. So I go to pull something up. I go to grab my iPad, to plug it in to just get some audio out there. And sure enough, the MC walks over to me and I'm like, hey man, it's about to crash. I couldn't even get the crash out. Boop, dead, crash. So I had to restart it. Had some background stuff playing so I could get it back up. Fortunately, it's a M4 MacBook, so the thing flies. So I was up pretty fast. It actually even boots up Serato faster than, because it always takes forever with Serato, especially if you have a bigger database. Anyway, so brought it back up. Now here's the thing. I brought it back up and I was like, okay, well clearly that's an Apple Music bug, whatever. And we hit a little window, but fine. I'm just not even going to load it in. Okay. So I went to maybe like, I don't know, another 5-10 minutes. I went to play another song, The Beach Ball. I was like, It all started when I opened up Apple Music. So I had to reset it again. Anyway, I open up Serato and immediately go to the streaming services and turn them off. Turn them off immediately on the next one. And everything was fine. I then logged in a Tidal. Everything was fine. So I deduced that it's an Apple problem. And apparently with DJ had Apple in the beginning, they were running into problems like this too. So it's an Apple problem. Apparently there's an update. At least that's what somebody from Serato had told me. So I think you can just download the same version and then reinstall it. And then it should fix the bug. It should fixed the bug. Now, what do I feel about Apple Music? I said this last week. I'll say it again. I don't have a problem with Apple Music. I love Apple Music. I'm an Apple Music fan. That's what I use. However, I know there's no stems in Apple Music. It'll come at some point, just not now. There's no stems. Okay. We're okay. We can still DJ. You'll be fine. You don't need to stem every song known to man. Not every transition needs to be stemmed. Not every song needs to have the stem button applied. And I think we've forgotten about that because I keep seeing this, no stems, no dill. I just need to play an emergency backup song, a song that I don't have that a guest or a client asked me to play. That's my only reason for truly having streaming services. Now, it's going to help my DJ, algorithm DJ on my iPad now that I have streaming services. I can just have all that stuff in there. I got cell service on my iPad. Guys, stop asking me about DJ Studio. I don't have thoughts about it. I don't have thoughts because I've never touched it. In all honesty, never touched it. I will at some point. I don't think it's... I can't have an opinion because I haven't used it. I've seen it. I know what it's capable of. I know what it can and can't do. You know, I just anything I say is going to come off negative right now about it. So I think I should just let that one go. I don't have enough information to form an opinion, but to me, yes, apparently you can make mixes easy. Great. Apparently you can make mixes off of YouTube. Great. And there's a lot of people out there that are screaming about how amazing it is. That's all I know. I actually have to do a mix relatively soon. Actually, probably tonight. And I actually thought about it. Maybe I should just download DJ Studio. Because they've been asking me to review it for a while now. Maybe I'll just download it and see it for myself. See how easy it is. Over pulling up Serato Studio. Or pulling up Ableton. Or just doing the live mix. So I don't have an opinion on it. I don't have an opinion. I'm sure it's fine. But I don't really believe in programs that are all things to all people either. You're never ever going to really hear me say, hey, there's this program that'll make all your playlists and then we'll do all your transitions and we'll hard code in to your metadata, all the cue points and the transition points. Oh, you use Virtual DJ? Great. Well, it's going to put those cue points in. So when you put on auto play, it's just going to play everything. You'll never hear me say that. You'll never hear me say that because I don't believe in that. Why in the world? I've said this. I will continue to say this till I'm blue in the face. Why in the world do you want to make things so automated that you become irrelevant? Why would you want to do that? Learn the tools. Obviously, they should be there to make your job easier, but they should not be there to replace your job. And there's a lot of software right now that's coming out to replace your job. So you're not going to hear me saying, oh my God, make sure you that. I give caveats for crate hackers. You've heard me. I'm like, crate hackers is great, especially if you're a newbie and you've never, I said, but once you get to a certain point, you need to have your own sound. You need to have your own thing. And I'm not talking about current hits. Oh, kids music and blah, blah, blah. That's constantly updating every single week. I'm talking about if your 80s list or your 90s list or your 2000 list is not updated one time. You update it once or twice. You never have to update it again. You really don't. So make it yours. and stop looking for the easy way. There's no easy way. There's no easy way to getting muscles. You know, I work out, I do these things. Trust me when I tell you, just 3 months ago, I didn't look like this. Okay? I didn't look like this. But I've literally said, I'm going to do it. Now, are there ways? I mean, right now, the sweatsuit industry is on fire because all the people are just covering up their bodies with these baggy ass stuff. That's popular again. It would be really easy for me to go, why work out? Everything's baggy now. I don't need to work out. It would be really easy. Hold on. Let me see. I see Mojack's on here. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right. The last time he had posted, it was like, oh shit, I'm not even streaming. Like it was something dumb. Okay. So yeah. So once you've developed your list, your disco list, your 80s music list, your 90s music, you don't have to change it. You're good. Now, I have been seeing a couple of things from crate hackers who are like, get rid of those old playlists. I'm like, that's not how it works. Like that's not at all how it works. You don't, if something's a hit, it's a hit. And rarely do you go, hey, by the way, remember that old ass song that used to be, I liked it. I think we can bring that back. That's not really how it works. Okay. The classics are the classics for a reason. Now, you might be DJing in certain areas where you got white classic 90s and you got black classic 90s, and that might be different. Okay. That's really the only change up. You know, we were just talking about this. We were just talking about this from a perspective of like, oh, if you're making mixes for people, we're doing a lot more weddings, and weddings are silly. I had a wedding conversation yesterday that I literally sat there going, this has got to be the dumbest conversation I've ever had. Now, was it dumb because of the person? No, the person didn't know. The person didn't know. Okay. So, you know, we're on the phone and, hold on. We're on the phone and he's concerned, because the DJs he's interviewed have had really bad mixes or bad song choices. And I sat there and I said, I understand that. I said, however, I don't necessarily blame the DJ for what you consider to be wrong song choices. I said, this is one of the problems. And I broke this down to him. Okay. Now, before I get into the story, I want to tell you the bride is a very, her parents own a very big thing. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. We've done all of their events, all the kids' bar mitzvahs, all their house parties and their big ass mansions. Like we've done them all. Okay. So he's talking to me like I've never done any of this stuff. And I'm just in there like, well, yeah, we know what we're doing because we've been doing it for a long time and we've, you know, done these. So he says, well, you know, the last person I got recommended, they, you know, they're mixed. I didn't like it. And it was all this and it started out with this and blah, blah, blah. And I sat there and I said, yeah, I get it. There can be bad DJs. I said, however, you know, I don't blame him for this. And I don't blame him for this because this is a bad situation to be in. And I said, there's never a good like mix, because remember, anytime a client is going to your site or your SoundCloud or whatever, they're looking at the way you DJ based upon how they want to hear music. Way different than how you can be DJing. Okay. How they want to hear their music. So you could have the mix of a lifetime, and then one song comes on early on in there that they can't stand. All of a sudden, your mix is trash. Now, it's not trash, but that's the way they're thinking. Oh, he played this song that I hate. He's going to play this song on my wedding. I can't have this DJ. It's dumb. Or oh, there's an EDM mix he has here. Oh, I don't like EDM. He's going to play EDM at my wedding. No, he's not. Oh, he plays hip hop. I'm an EDM girl. I don't want to hear this. You get what I'm saying? It's a recipe for failure. And unless that person can come in and go, hey, you know what? I understand that this DJ is playing for this person at this particular time. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to play this on my party. So there's literally a re-education that I have to do for people. Like, look, it doesn't matter. I can give you a mix. It doesn't matter. Why don't you tell me what you like? And then let me recommend a mix for me that goes with what you like. You know, just don't send me a mix. Don't send, just because if you do, it's not going to work. You know, I have a very high-end client. I did her sister's wedding. She's asking me for a mix. She needs to hear the way I mix. I'm like, wasn't she at the party? Yeah, but she doesn't remember. Did she dance? Does she remember dancing? Yeah, there you go. So now I have to make a mix. Here's the thing. I played, and this is the funny thing. I remember pretty much every party I play. That party, I played some old school. I played some disco. I played some 90s, some 2010s. Pretty much stayed right then and there with a little bit of, you know, current pop, the Bruno Mars type stuff, right? Okay, that was, I don't know, 2 years ago in Santa Barbara. So let's just say, for instance, I just recreate that mix, and I could probably pull it up from my Serato playlist. I could probably pull my history up and literally just make a mix. Let's say I did that, right? She wouldn't like it. You know how I know this? Because I asked the planner, do they have a playlist? Has she given you anything for her wedding yet? She goes, yeah. She gave it to me. It's all house music. All of it. The current music, house versions. The old music, house versions. I absolutely can do that, but I would not have done that often. Why would I give a house remix playlist? That's typically guaranteed to fail. You get what I'm saying? So you don't know. You don't know, and they don't know. And it's a waste of both your times. So if you're going to do a mix, I recommend saying, what do you want to hear? And then giving them a 20-minute mix. You know, it doesn't have to be 4 hours, and don't be 4 hours. What are you going to, they'll be like, this mix is great. I'll just use this on my party. No, give them like a 20-minute mix and speed mix through that. It's just to give them an idea of the music you play. That's it. You don't need to give them an hour mix. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. So needless to say, Apple Music crash. Worked out though. Okay. Because there is a fix coming. Now, what else did I talk about? What else was in here? Let's see here. Cleveland Terry. Oh. Okay. There is one thing. We can talk about the Jetpack stuff. Let me see. Those types of people. Those types of people are pretty much the new generation of wedding people. It's just facts, guys. I'm sorry. You know, it sucks. But right now, these wedding people, they're different than they were before. They're just different. Now, having said that, I will tell you this. Once you get into the party itself, weddings are easy. Weddings are easy. And I'm not saying that as a flex, but compared to other things that I do, weddings are by far the easiest. No. Corporate's the easiest. Weddings are the second easiest. In all honesty, once you get through the opening words, the announcements, the introductions, now you're literally just DJing. And you can DJ pretty much everything because wedding people are just happy and drunk. They're easy. You know, you don't have non-drunk children all with attitudes screaming at you. You're not trying to keep 13-year-olds and 20-year-olds and 40-year-olds and 60-year-olds on the dance floor at the same time. That requires some massaging. What happens when an MC messes up? A name or speech for a wedding. How is that usually dealt with? Well, it's been dealt with because you messed up on the name. That's it. You messed up on the name. Okay. We're human beings. We make mistakes. Hey, I apologize. Let's try that one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to blah, blah, blah. Just accept it. You know, there's nothing worse than people trying to act like it didn't happen, because it did. So man up, woman up, and refocus. That's it. The attention span people have with new music, especially new generation, is so small. That's why they expect DJs to switch it up. Yeah, I agree. You know, you just look as we yeah, this is true. This is very true. You know, I've legitimately called out a name. I've done it I don't think there's a DJ in the world that hasn't messed up on an introduction before. I've messed up on an introduction. I have done bar mitzvahs where right before I do the full-on grand entrance of the kid, I've forgotten their name. And now I'm like making it work, you know, go up to the DJ. What the fuck is the kid's name? Like, we've had it all. And even if you try to like make it better, yeah, and you can, as a professional, make it better. But in general, the crowd knows. They know, you know, the crowd is like, let's see how he gets out of this. That's really the big issue. Let's see how he gets out of this. You know, that's it. Anyway, I do not use software to normalize all my audio. I don't agree with that. I don't. I think, well, look, here's the facts, okay? I don't normalize my audio. Hold on. Sorry. The facts are, anytime you do anything to your music, whether it be normalizing, whether it be writing in metadata, you are affecting potentially the sound. So I don't run my process through a process. I mean, you already have settings in all the DJ software that will remember where your gains are, you know? So why do you need to normalize all of your audio files? I don't agree with it. I like to keep my files the way they are. I'm not going to mess with them and then have them potentially be recompressed. It'd sound worse. Okay, let's see here. All right, I can get rid of that. You know what? I mean, in all honesty, Simi, I don't have that surprise factor because I don't just press the button. You know what I mean? Like when I'm DJing, I have my in-ears in. I hear the other song, even if I know the song, like I've been DJing forever. I know my routines. Yeah, sometimes I don't need my headphones, but every so often there's another song that you want to cue up properly, line it properly, whatever. And in those cases, you're hearing the audio. You know, you know where the levels are. You can see it on the screen, on the UI. Like, you can see all these things. Like, you know where the audio is, and then you make adjustments before you bring the song in. You know, you make adjustments while you're bringing the song in, potentially. You know, so I don't feel the need to normalize. And normalizing, it's only looking for the high transients. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to normalize properly. You get what I'm saying? So I just prefer to keep it the way it is. FLAC only, wave only, MP3 only, or does it matter to you? It does not matter to me. You're not playing on a audio file system. We need to stop this whole, it's got to be FLAC, it's got to be wave. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I can guarantee you, not one person is going to hear the difference playing out of your QSC 12.2s and 118 speakers. You're not going to hear the difference playing out of your Evolve 90s. They're not going to hear the difference playing out of your RCFs. They're not going to hear the difference. So you're just wasting your time. You're adding larger files to your computer. Now, of course, look. Of course, God, you guys are asking just like weird questions today. How do you get corporate gigs? I mean, I can be a butthead and say, just like any other gig, I go out and I talk to people. or my reputation precedes me and they call me directly. That's how you get gigs. You know what I mean? Your word of mouth. I don't market. You know, there's only so much you can do. Okay, let me. I'll get back to the gigs in 1 second. Let me just finish up on FLAC and Wave. Hold on. Let me just tag this real quick. Okay. Wave files. A 5 to 10 megabyte song in an MP3 or even AAC. Wave file is going to make it 4 times as big. So now you're dealing with 40 megabyte song files. Yes, it's not going to translate through your software, unless you're on one of them precious EDM venues. Was that Structure One or Sound One or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, that's the one that everybody talks about. Anyway, but for your average person, it's not going to matter. I don't care if you use FLAC. These are all personal preferences. Okay. And if you want to keep your WAV files or your FLAC files, if you want to keep them because it is future proofing your thing. Okay. So maybe you have a hard drive where all of your files are in WAV format. WAV is pretty much, the best. An uncompressed WAV file is pretty much standard for anything production wise. So you got an uncompressed WAV file, highest resolution, high fidelity, everything, maybe it's at 96 or whatever. It's just sitting on your drive. If you're like, okay, this is my main catalog, but I'm going to compress all these things for my computer. That's different. Okay. That's different. So having said that, yes, the best possible. But if you're not doing that, I don't have a problem with anything at or above, 192. I don't have any problem with that. They sound good enough. And here's the funny thing. We used to be running off of 64. all of them streaming services we pull down, 64 kilobits, 128. You play a 64 right now next to your 192 or your 380, 84. Just tell me the difference. Tell me if you hear a difference. Because damn it, there is a difference. 320, exactly. And that's pretty much standard now. Everybody's doing 320 right now. Thank you. I was like 380. What is it? It's 320. Yeah, that's the standard. But in general, don't matter. Don't matter. It does not matter. Okay. So, back to corporate gigs. Corporate gigs. Corporate gigs are based upon who you know. Sorry, that's just facts. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean, hey man, I got a friend that's going to recommend me for this job. No, who you know is your relationships that you've built, because corporate gigs, for the most part, corporate gigs come from planners. Okay. In general, that's just the way it works. So they come from planners, and you just have to have good relationships with them. They have to know you're good. They have to know that you know how to run an adult only party or whatnot. So Mojack's in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. So yeah, you literally need to have them in your corner. Okay, that's how you get corporate gigs. Every corporate gig I've ever gotten has come from a planner that loves what we do, and now they're trying to do it. As a matter of fact, there is one company right now that I happen to be really good friends with, the girl who runs the marketing department there. Okay, we're all friends. We're all dance parents and stuff. We're going out to dinner with them this weekend. Anyway, and this is how why I tell you it's who you know. So this company actually uses scam artists. Okay, so they just call scam artists. Hey, we got this huge thing. We need a DJ. They'll send a DJ. Now, the reason why they love scam artists is because their lawyers have already made all the contracts. It's already done. So they don't have to go out and renew contracts and all that stuff at all. So, she's like, I really want you to do these events for us. And I said, well, you know what? Let me just I'll text Sujit and see if there is even a way for me to just get on as a corporate gigs person for you. And then we can go that way. He still makes his rate. He still gets his fee, but now we're all winning. You get what I'm saying? So, but again, none of it came from me just walking into Netflix and being like, hey, I know you guys do premieres. Why don't you book me? Doesn't work. Does not work. Does not work. You want to get corporate gigs, you have to develop relationships. Develop relationships or be on a management company this is what they do. Because a company will call a management company like, hey, I need a DJ, a big DJ for this big thing. We have this kind of budget, blah, blah, blah. That's how you get them. Real corporate. I'm not talking about what Alan Robinson is talking about right now. Corporate gigs I have seen are really cheap and do not want to spend the money. Those are business gigs. Those aren't corporate gigs. Okay. And I say that and I'm laughing, but I'm being serious because there is a difference between a business throwing a holiday party and a corporate event. They are not the same. Okay. I have tons of businesses that throw events with lower budgets. The difference between a real corporate event and a business event is, typically speaking, those businesses, because every December we have had 10 businesses, corporations throw holiday parties. Out of those 10 parties, some pay full rate, some pay less rate. And it literally depends on the business. Okay. Honestly, depends. Now, you move forward to corporate, your TV companies, your movie houses, your Microsofts, your Apples. Those are corporate events. Those have budgets, but they are way above anything that your brain would ever consider to be something you should charge. Okay. There's been multiple times where I have come in under and been like, oh, I needed to change that number. Okay. There was a corporate gig a friend of mine had. She was like, hey, they want to hire me for this city. It's in this state. It's on this time, and she gave me her number. She's like, what do you think I should charge? And I said, regardless of what you're charging, you're not charging enough. You're gone for 2 days or 3 days. They got you flying out of state. It needs to be at least this much to get out for you to get out the door. She's like, I don't know. I feel bad. I just feel like, I want to get the job, but I don't want to lose it. I'm like, you'll lose it if you underrepresent yourself. Anyway, she got the number that I told her to get. And that company probably still got her at a steal. You get what I'm saying? So corporations are, you don't know. You don't know. But if it's just a business, so-and-so's restaurant is having a holiday event or a Valentine's Day thing. Yeah, they don't have the budget. Okay. But if you're doing a quarterly earnings meeting and you're one of the performers to go along with everything else, trust me when I tell you, the dollars are good. I do a couple of corporates here and there. Literally, it doesn't matter what it is. I have a rate now that is established with this corporation. Doesn't matter. It could be, we need you to play cocktail music for an hour, blah, blah, blah. My rate remains the same. We need you to play 3 hours. We need you to play in between the band. My rate is always the same. Now, there's a couple of reasons why this can help you. One, they already know what to expect. So it's already in the budget. They don't even think about it, right? It's just a part of their fee and they're going to pay you. The only difference is when you're like, hey, okay, now I need you to do this and this and this. Oh, you need me to do this? You need me to bring in speakers? You need me to bring in lighting? Oh, okay, well, this is different. That's going to add some money because, my rate is just for me to be here and spend. Maybe I bring my furniture or my controller, but everything else is provided by you. Now you want me to do it? Okay. I can't just say, well, I know I charge this much money, but blah, blah, blah. You can't say that. Your fee is your fee. Yeah, Kale, this is a thing. Net 30, a lot of companies do it. But you can negotiate that. You absolutely can negotiate that. You know, I always tell people, you know, all these people got expense accounts. There's ways around it. You know, typically speaking, your contract is your contract. And if somebody wants to say net 30, either you accept it or you don't. But that doesn't change the fact that you do have some control. They want you to do net 30 or net 60. They want you to do it. That doesn't mean you have to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's a middle ground there. You just got to figure out what works for you. Okay. Let's take a look here. All right. I've been doing, sorry. Where did it go? I got to make the screen bigger so I can see it. I need to update the screen. I'm using this old ass television, and the text is horrible on it. I've been doing events for NFL, NBA, pretty much other national corporations, chain corporation events for decades, and the budget is endless. Yeah, compared to mom and pop restaurants. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you start to learn, you start to understand. Okay, let's see here. Music by Rami. How do you handle politely refusing a request from the parents after they make sure to tell you they're paying for the wedding? Why are you saying no to a request from the parents? I'm not being silly. I'm actually asking a legitimate question. Like, did the bride and groom tell you, no matter what my mom asked for, even if she paid for the wedding, you don't play a damn thing for her? Is that what they said? Or did they come up and ask for a song and you were in the middle of a fire mix dance set and you didn't have a time for that? There's a lot of variables in this. Now, I'm going to assume that maybe you were just in a mix and it was something that you couldn't do, or it was a song that was just it wasn't going to work for what you were doing. There's always a place to play it. There's never a party where there isn't some form of downtime. Okay? That could be they're eating. I've had parents ask for, can you play this one song? It's our wedding anniversary song from 1932 and blah, blah, blah. They're really old. I have, and I'll play it during dinner and I'll watch them get up, do their dance, and they don't bother me ever again. Look, guys, I know some of you guys I've been doing this for a while, and maybe what I'm telling you is something you already know, but in all honesty, I'm going to tell you a little trick for you new people out there. Okay. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again now. Here's the trick. And you can use this and you can tell this to your clients. Okay. You're talking to the bride and groom. The first half of a wedding is not for the bride and groom. It's for the parents. It's for the parents. It's for their friends. Okay. And if you don't want the parents complaining about the noise level, the volume, the hippity hop bullshit you're playing, you want to avoid all that, you give them some music early on. You give them some music, you let them dance with their significant other, you let them get a little two-step on. They will never bother you for the rest of the night. In fact, you could be playing the unedited version of 2 Live Crew, and they'd be like, you were so good tonight. If you don't remember anything else I've said today, remember that. In all honesty, remember that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, Sobra. Would you oppose a new DJ watching how you set up, interact, and close your gigs out? What does that mean? Okay, because that could mean a couple of things. Now, are you saying that I've hired a new guy, okay? And now he's shadowing me. And he comes on and he's watching how I do things because he's going to work for me. And then I say, hey, you know what? This is an easy set. Hop on the decks. Show me what you can do for a little bit. And I watch him DJ as I'm kind of like hand holding him, right? And then he's there interacting and getting on the microphone and then closing out. Is that what we're saying? Because I don't have a problem with that. Now, if we're saying on the other hand that some random dude's like, hey, because this has happened to me. I have not happened to me specifically, but like people ask me, hey, can I come see your parties? Can I come by and hang out and see your parties? I can roadie for you, blah, blah, blah. That in the back of my head is always a question mark. And I'm a little hesitant for those kinds of things. In all honesty, if I'm hiring somebody, absolutely, they need to be there. They need to understand how I do the job. But if somebody's just there to kind of just figure out what it is that makes you, I'm not really into that, but everybody's different though. Everybody's different. So if that's what you're saying, I got to make assumptions sometimes based upon what you say, what everybody says. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I had a horrible micromanager client before, and it was a bar mitzvah. They were just okay. So we have lots of clients, obviously, but some clients, we have a lot of industry clients. Okay, so they could be lawyers or managers or whatever, and they truly believe that because they hang around with rappers and pop stars, that they know what's hip. They know what's going, what's working. And they won't allow you to play anything that's like not from like 2005 and above. Okay. I got clients like that. All right. And anyway, it never works the way they want it to work. They want it to be a certain way. We don't want anything. We want it new. Like, what about your adults? They'll dance to everything we play. They'll be there, but they're not going to dance to everything you play. They want to hear some of the stuff they like too. So one time we do this opening dance set, and we have our list of music that we're playing for the grand entrance, and every song the parents are coming into, the kids coming into. Anyway, I hit the grand entrance song, and Dad was already on us. Just on us. And we finish up with the song, and he comes over and he's got this scowl on his face. He's like, this is what I'm talking about. You didn't play the song that my son asked for. And I'm like, yes, I did. He goes, no. I know you didn't play it. And I got Serato up. I turned my computer over. I go to history. I'm like, 746. Here's the song. He calls over his son. He's like, son, he tell him I'm right. He didn't play your song. And he's like, Dad, yeah, he played the song. That's the song that I wanted. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, man. Okay. Never mind. You got it. It happens. People are amped up. People think they know more than you. It happens. You just kind of roll with it and keep it moving. Okay. I'm a single up. Hey, okay. When can you say no? When can you say no when the same person is asking you a mini song request? You say no. I mean, in all honesty, you guys are, you're overthinking this. Okay. You're overthinking this because, there's nothing wrong with you. First off, with you being honest, there's nothing wrong with you informing them that, in a nice way, I've played several songs for you. I got to get back to what I normally do. There's nothing wrong with informing them that it's not going to work for what you're doing or that the client wants. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had people come up and say, "Hey, can you play this song?" And I flat out said, "It won't work with what the client's asking for tonight. Sorry." That's it. I'm not a big fan of telling them, yeah, and then not playing it, because all you're doing is delaying them. They're going to come back and ask you again. If you know for a fact you can't play a specific song, just tell them. Just tell them. If you're like, oh yeah, that I can try to fit that in. That's different. Okay. You trying to fit something in versus you knowing you're not going to play it. You know you're not going to play it. Just tell them. Sorry, can't play that tonight. Nope, not tonight. You're a buzzkill. Again, I take you back to my conversation about social media people. You're probably never going to see these people again. Okay? You're probably never going to see these people again. So there's no sense in making your life harder. Just pull the Band-Aid off. Yeah, I'd love to, but the client has already requested that we stay away from this artist or we stay away from this kind of music. Sorry, but I love that track. Track's banging. Track's fire. Just be honest. You're not gaining anything. So just be honest. At weddings, I tell the couple, we are the bad guys, and we'll tell the people no and not say the bride and groom. Yeah, I mean, look, every party's different. Okay. I don't care about being the bad guy. If a client says, we're not playing any hip hop tonight, and I walk into that place and 95% of the thing is all teenagers, and they're like, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. They don't sound like they're 4 years old, but in my mind, that's how they sound right now. And I'm not going to be like, no, I just won't play this. No, I'm not the asshole. Nope. Sorry. We are not allowed to play that tonight. I don't have to say who said it, but we are not allowed to play that tonight. Sorry. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to make my client look like they didn't make me look like an asshole. You get what I'm saying? Because it doesn't help you. Okay, let me put it to you this way. If you say, no, blah, 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 I want them to be mad at us instead, what does that do for you? Let's just say, for instance, every single one of those clients, every single one of those guests, let's just say every one of those guests was a prospective client. Every one of those guests was ready to book you to do their wedding. Okay? Let's just say that. I know it's fake, but let's just put that out there. And you take the hit for every single bad decision your client has made. How is that going to affect your ability to get that next job? You get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't actually serve you like you think it is. Yeah, it's cool for you to be like, okay, I get it every so often, but if the client has made some sort of an edict for that night and it's like severely messing up your ability to do the party, it's okay to be honest. If every kid in the planet or whatever client's like, there's a hot song, whatever, and let's say that client hates that song, and and you've had like 15 people come up to you, you're gonna keep saying, no, I won't play this. Well, I don't understand. 15 people have asked for it. Why don't you just play it? Nah, it's just not for me. But it's not for you. You're the DJ. Can you just play the song? Nah, I don't want to. It's not looking good for you. You get what I'm saying? So I understand why you're doing it. I completely do. Okay. I'm just saying there's a happy medium there. And sometimes it's okay to be like, I'm under strict orders tonight. I can't. I legitimately had a wedding it was a predominantly black group of people. And again, we were talking about the music in the Before I Let Goes and all that stuff, right? That's the music they wanted to hear. The client was bougie as hell, right? Bougie as hell. Her husband was a like a famous plastic surgeon that she was marrying. She won the lottery. Okay. So now she wants to hear like EDM and like, that kind of stuff. The crowd did not want that. She didn't want what the crowd wanted. She said, I don't care what they ask for. You play only what I want you to play. Okay. We went back up to her halfway through the party. I'm like, look, I know we've been staying here, but I'm telling you, 75% of your people have come up to us and asked us to play this music. Can we at least play just a couple of tracks to get? No. You stay on my list. Stay on my playlist. Do you honestly believe that I'm going to tell these people that it was my choice to not give them what they want? That's insane. That's insane. That only makes you look bad. By the way, there's pretty much nothing out there that you can say that the people and the party aren't going to assume that you have something to do with. So don't take problems you don't need to. Don't take them L's when you don't need to. Yeah. And yes, this is the best way to avoid that situation. Yes. You're right. Absolutely right. Well, because the reason why we did that wedding is because we knew the plastic surgeon. So he was like plastic surgeon to the stars. A lot of people we knew worked for him. So that's why it was one of those things. So we didn't really know beforehand until we got playlists later on what kind of music she wanted. And even then we didn't know that she was going to be like that. Most people go stay here for most of the time, but give my people a little bit. She didn't care at all that her people were there. Did not care. It was just about her. So you live and learn, just yesterday. Yesterday, I will tell you about the meeting I had. Okay. I told you part of it and then we kind of segued through. The client was like, prospective client was like, hey, well, we heard all this music. We didn't like it. And I explained to them why. So, but then they were like, well, how do we know how you DJ? And I'm like, well, first off, I've been DJing for a long time, so I know what I'm doing, but I like to get music from you. And then we go from there. And he goes, well, but, and then he tries to trick me. He says, well, what if I like Elton John and then I ask you to play Elton John? What are you going to play? Anyway, so I'm like, look, Elton John can be played pretty much everywhere. And I said, it depends on the music you're asking for. If you just like an Elton John song, like This Is Your Song or Benny and the Jets or something like that, maybe I'm going to play that during dinner, during cocktail hour, during downtime. But if you tell me that you just love Elton John, then I'm going to play some of that during cocktail, but I'm also going to play some of his newer stuff, his Tiny Dancers and his remixes from, as the Iron Preacher Man said, his remixes. I'm going to play those, the house versions of those songs while you're dancing. It just depends. But, that's why we have questionnaires and that's why we have these music playlists that we ask you for, and he was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes I have trouble understanding people. Like I get them. I truly do get them. But like, I'm just like, why do you think you're going to stump a DJ on something like this? Like, that's crazy. Do you know who Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock are? If I asked you to play some 90s, what would you play? You know what I mean? Like, anyway, it's sad. It's sad. Okay. What is it? 12:15. Let's see if we can answer any more questions. Well, normally, we don't have this problem because we already know these people. Normally, we don't do a lot of, like completely out of the blue weddings, but even then, most of the time, they already know what we do. Like, this is what we do. Like, I don't personally understand when a client contacts you and they see your clips and they see your Instagram and they see your this or what or that, when they're still like, well, tell me what it is that you do. Oh, have you been to our parties? Yeah. So you've been to our parties. You've been to our parties, not like just seeing, like you've been guests. Oh yeah, I've seen you several times. So then, what do you want? Do you want to book us or not? Well, what do you do differently than so-and-so? I don't know. What did you see differently from so-and-so? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, and this new group of clients, in all honesty, they're different now. They're different. These new 30 to 40-year-olds are different kind of people. They really are. Not in a bad way, just different. Just different. You have to approach them differently. You got to talk to them differently. You know, their expectations are different. They're just a different crowd, you know, and every so often we have literally run the gamut. And now we're on to brand new, completely new people and planners and all that stuff. Do you have a writer? Yes, I do. Of course I have a writer, but it depends. I'm flexible with my writer. It depends on what people have. I don't think that's all the way true. I don't. I think we can't just say Spotify ruined it for DJs without also saying that Spotify has allowed me as a DJ to play a lot more music that I couldn't play before because people were only listening to the radio. So I can't blame Spotify completely. If Spotify did anything, they made selections harder as far as, well, play this and play this and play this. You know, why can't you just change to this song right now? And why can't you? Like, there is a certain way. Like, I get it. However, TikTok didn't ruin it either. TikTok did not ruin it. You guys are looking at this in a very negative way. Speaking of Karens out there, TikTok did not ruin DJing. If anything, TikTok opened up a lot of people's eyes to older music that they weren't listening to before. Now, attention span is relative. And yes, it's affected the way we DJ. You know, you got to speed up your process. But if you speed up your process, you still DJ the same. You just play more music. I tell you guys, I've been telling you guys to stop playing whole songs since before TikTok even came out. Had you listened to me in the first place, we wouldn't be in this situation. That's what I'm saying. Oh, don't you love that full circle? Damn. I should turn this show off right now. TikTok gave song requests that are none of the DJ pools. So what? You get what I'm saying? So what? What? Okay. Honestly, you guys right now, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. This is an outside perspective looking at you guys right now. Y'all sound hella entitled right now. Okay. There's songs that are not on the DJ pools, which means I have to pay to get the song off of Amazon or Apple Music or blah, blah, blah. You guys sound entitled as hell. Heaven forbid you got to spend some goddamn money from the client that you're charging money from. God forbid you got to do a little work outside of what you normally do. God forbid you got to research a little bit. They're not the only ones that are the problem. They're not the only ones. I'm telling you, we are just as much a part of the problem. And when I say we, I mean you. Who can? Okay, fine. Embezzle. Yes, you are right. It would be nice if we could leverage that purchase. You're absolutely correct. But in all honesty, is $5, $10, $20 when you've just charged that client $2,000? Is that going to hurt you? The $20? You know what I'm saying? It's not. You'll be fine. And let's say, for instance, fine. You don't want to pay for it. There are streaming services. There's Apple Music. There is Tidal. There is BeatSource. It's all available to you. All available. We are getting too lazy. Again, do you want to have a career 10 years from now? Do you want to have a career 20 years from now? You will not have a career if you keep looking for easy ways to get away from doing the job that people are hiring you for. Oh my God, it's so easy. Now I just have my virtual DJ playing, and while I eat, I got my mix right on my iPhone or my Apple Watch, and I can just transition from here and from here and from here. Fine. Technology should help you. Don't let it replace you. Don't let it replace you. Exactly. You ever see a real 45 DJ? You've seen them flying through music. Records are going everywhere and all over the place, and they're going verse to verse. I mean, come on. That is a skill set. That is an absolute skill set. And we're mad because we have to, get out of a song a little early because people have short attention spans. It's strange to me, though, that a lot of people are saying you recognize, you acknowledge that they have short attention spans. But when I say don't play whole songs, you say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. If I don't play a whole song, these people are going to get pissed off at me. My clients love whole songs. Make it make sense. Do your clients love whole songs, or do they have short attention spans? Which one is it? Which one is it? Anyway. I don't want people to get out of the habit or the understanding that, like, what made us DJs is our knowledge. And yes, an algorithm in a lot of respects can be stronger than your knowledge. You've probably forgotten more music than the algorithm, has just generated for you. So I get that. I completely understand. But we have to remember both can be true. Yes, but that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that, look, there are plenty of songs, okay? There are plenty of songs out there that you're going to play the whole song through. There are plenty of songs. That's not my argument. And that's not the argument people are making. People are saying, I have to play whole songs or my clients get pissed off the entire night. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying for you to get out of Before I Let Go or get out of, Don't Stop Believing or get out of Early, pretty much, any Bad Bunny song. Like, I'm not saying that. And I'm not, Joshua, you just got here. You're hearing little bits and pieces from a whole 2-hour show. So I know you're getting some pieces and you're defending. I get it. I understand. By the way, good to see you, pal. I'm just saying we've been talking about this the whole time we've been on this show. So, but in general, I'm just literally saying I get that music exists. I do. Okay. But there's tons of music out there that you should be flying through. You should be. You should absolutely be flying through. The songs that you need to play all the way through, you play all the way through. I'm never telling people to not have common sense. And I even had to say that in the video. Because when I said don't play whole songs, yes, the statement was a big brush. But that's YouTube. That's getting people on here. Okay. But the reality is, yes, there's certain songs you're going to play. I don't expect us DJs to have to be told that because a party is ebbs and flows, right? Sometimes if I'm playing for a whole bunch of older people, I'm staying in songs longer than if I'm playing for younger people. And that's just a fact. But that's also from understanding the dynamics of the group. If I'm playing at a nightclub, there's absolutely no way that I can stay in general in a song for more than 2 verses. There's no way. The crowd won't take it anymore. They're not there. It's not the same. It used to be you could stay in stuff. Not anymore. Unless you're playing like a house. I've played a couple of house rooms, and yeah, you can stay in those things for the entire song. They just want that. Just love the frequency all day, all night. Good for them. More power to them. My opinion is watch the earlier part of it. We talked about that already. We talked about that. Agreed. I've never knew Uptown Funk had a second verse. You don't know. Put some liquor in it. When Uptown Funk first came out, I did not mix out until the breakdown, which I call the Fantastic Voyage breakdown, because that's absolutely what it is. Uptown Funk you up. That's Fantastic Voyage right there. So that's usually where I mix out. Dancing Queen. I always look the way I work. The way I work, and it drives me crazy if I'm in a club and I'm like, is this a new song? Is this a remix? Because it's gone on for so long that you just didn't realize there was a third verse. But I haven't played, typically speaking, I'm if I'm going to do anything, especially if it's a new song, it's two verses out on the second chorus. And in a lot of respects, it's out on the third chorus, because if you have edits and stuff, you start with the hook anyway, and then hook, verse, hook, and maybe you're mixing out on the verse, or you're mixing out right on the second chorus. It just depends. So that's what I'm saying. But in general, after a song has been hot for a while, you're in. Holla Back Girl. Holla Back Girl is a perfect example for me. Holla Back Girl, there are three parts to Holla Back Girl. Only three parts you need to play. First chorus, because it starts with the chorus. You girl been around that track, right? You play that. Ain't no holla back girl. Ain't no holla back girl. Ooh, that's my shit. That's my shit. Right into, let me hear you say the shit is bananas. You can literally mix out after the end of the last bananas. That's three parts. That edit is like 1 minute. Okay? Maybe 1 minute, like 7 seconds. When I tell you that is more than enough for 100% of your people, I mean it. You have given them everything they needed for that song. Okay? The same thing with Wannabe. First verse into, so here's a story from A to B. First verse, chorus, so here's the story. You give them that, they will not complain that you cut that song short. This is the problem, okay? This is the main problem. Well, no, Joshua, we're saying the same thing, okay? When I start the song, yeah, you know where it's gonna go. You know if you need to cut it early. You know if you want to just keep it going. I don't have the edit. I have cue points. I got cue points for every part of the jump. So if I'm playing Poison, sometimes I start on, it's driving me out of my mind. Sometimes I start on the snare. It just depends on the crowd and what I got going on. That's we're saying the same thing. You never know. Yeah, I don't just have an edit, because I think if you do an edit, you're limiting what you can do. You're limiting your play. So I go that route. But for 95% of the people, that's all they care about. That's all they care about. And that's why when people are like, don't play, you got to play whole songs. It's not for the whole song. It's because there's a part in the song that they need to get to. It's a part in the song that the crowd needs to hear. And they haven't mixed it properly so they could seamlessly go from like first verse to the bridge. That's usually what the problem is. I'm sorry. If you think about it, if you just remove the roadblocks to your brain, right? And you remove a little bit of the ego of like, no, I know what's best for my crowd. Fine. Maybe you do. And I've always said this. I'm like, you don't know. It might, just by speeding up half your songs, you might see the energy level change. That's it. Hey, everybody dances when I play this music. That you're right. If it's a wedding, people are going to dance, and you're playing a classic song, they're going to dance to it. But if you sped it up, maybe the energy level goes up. And I can tell you, it typically always goes up. So it's just up to you. But again, I'm not here to judge you. You guys do whatever you want to do. Those are your parties, not mine. My parties, I get I get maybe, we do like 400 events a year. I get maybe every year I'll get 2 or 3 people that'll say, can you play the whole songs? 2 or 3 people. And then I'll explain why I don't. But then on their party, I'll show them what happens when you play whole songs versus when you speed it up. And they'll see it and go, oh, I see. What's worse? What if I'm playing a song that you don't like, client? You want me to play the whole song? Or you want me to get out of it as quickly as possible? You know why? And you know why I get out of it as quickly as possible? Because when you play a song, you're supposed to look up. You look up. You look at the crowd. How did that song make them feel? Did they do this? They do this? They do this? They look right in your face? They do any of those things? Because if they did, and the majority of people are making that look, or they were doing this a minute ago, now they're like, they're doing what you want them to do. They're saying, this DJ's been really good so far. Let me hear what the next song is. I don't really like this song, but let me hear what the next song is. So if you stay in that song too long, you're guaranteeing going to send them to the bar. Now, I'm not saying if one person doesn't like your song. I've had plenty of times where I played a song and that one person's like, change it. Like that stuff, you can kick rocks. Okay. If anything is going to send me into like a huge Hulk man rage, it's this right here. I will absolutely disrespect a guest if you do this to me or this to me. Because to me, this is a sign of disrespect. An absolute sign of disrespect. Nope. I no longer see you as a person. And I'm going to call you out. Real quick. That is a flaw of mine. I know I have this flaw. Sorry. I'll deal with it. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, exactly. The cell in your face. Oh, yeah. Pierre Fitch is getting the S11. Can't wait. Had the Rain 72. Good choice. Nothing wrong with the S11. It's my mixer of choice. How do you mix out in the club? That's easy. That is easy. For the most part, they only want to hear Shorty, it's your birthday, into the hook. And I guarantee you can get out after the hook. I guarantee you. You're not going to believe me, but I guarantee you can. Now, you can stand it because you want to, but I find that most people, when I play in the club and I'm looking at their faces, they don't even know the lyrics, but they know Shorty, it's your birthday. They know find me in the club. But when the verse comes on, you can watch the energy level just drop on that song. So I don't stand it. That's just me though. Yes, guys, you guys got to stop asking silly questions. Okay. Now, and I say this with the most love in my heart. Okay. Because there's no way in the world that a question of you prefer the S11 over the A9 should make any sense in the world. Okay. They are completely different mixers for a completely different style of DJing. So if I say the S11, there's no way I'm saying the A9. Don't get me wrong. A9 is a great mixer. Okay. But that's not my mixer of choice. And you said S11 over the 72. So we shouldn't even be bringing in the A9. Okay. S11, 72. I prefer the S11. That's it. I did a country night last week for a load of line dances, every track. Yes. If you play line dances, if you play any type of couples dances, merengue, bachata, salsa, you're playing whole songs. Whole songs. This I agree with. Okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Nick Mike makes some great edits. Sometimes I don't have his style is not, because he does a lot of more like West Coast remixes. Like he's really big on that. And I've just never really been a big, like super West Coast fan, even though I'm from LA, but I'm like a New York kid. So yeah, they don't always work for me, but Nick Mike makes some great remixes though. Same with Biggie songs. You don't have to play you don't have to play all the entire song of Biggie. You got to play Biggie's parts. That's it. But you can get out of them. Let's see here. Long-term club guy who's getting tons of wedding requests. Any advice for getting good at weddings without ruining people's events in the process? Well, I would say, I don't know, maybe don't take that party if you're not confident you can do that party. Okay. Maybe go in with like another person that's been doing this for a while. So, or maybe shadow some DJs that have been doing it for a while, just so you can kind of get a feel for how it's done. I'm going to tell you this, long-term club guy, there is some re-education, or there's absolutely re-education when you're doing private events. There has not been a single long-term or just club DJ that I've taken and they haven't been like, you need some work, pal. We gotta fix this. Trust me. You know, go shadow some people. People want the club and their parties, and yes, your mix style should not change, but you know, there's going to be some things that are not going to translate well, you know, but that energy, that the way you create energy should be the same on a wedding versus, you know, at the club. But shadow some people, please. Don't ruin that person's wedding. Or if they're friends of yours, family friends type stuff, you know what I mean? Don't take money from somebody you don't know without the confidence to do a good job. Please don't. Bring somebody in. Oh, this is so many facts. And look, we've all done this. Okay. This is the problem. The reason why we're saying this is because we've done it. I've stopped the music. I thought I could speed mix through Aladdin. Like, ooh, you know what? You know what? This salsa song goes really good with this salsa song. So I'm just gonna mix it through, you know, off the second verse. It only takes one time. It only takes one time for that whole crowd to stop and stare at you and say, what are you doing? Put the song back on. One time. That's it. And you get out. Now, I'm not saying if you decided, okay, you're playing a regular wedding, you know, and maybe there was a Hispanic person or a few, whatever, and you played Suavemente, okay? All right, that's, you know, who let the dogs out for Spanish people? You played Suavemente, and then, but the people on the floor, they're just regular people, regular white people, regular black, whatever, right? So they're dancing to it, but they're not coupling up. They're not doing anything. They just know the song because it's an old classic. You can get out of that song. Okay. You can get out of that song. But if you are playing for Hispanics, respect the music, respect what they do. Very, very important. Very, you know, and then they'll stick with you. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Still using a 7.3. Oh, we're talking about old stuff again. We're doing that. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice. We see it all the time. This thing. All day. Like, you know, you don't have to twirl them. There's plenty of stuff where you don't have to twirl them. It's okay. Oh, and then, yeah, they will hold a grudge. And so the person I talked to yesterday, same thing. They were talking about, the guy's like, well, look, I'm Persian, but I'm not real Persian. Okay. He made that very, very clear. So, he's like, so I would need you to play some Persian songs. I'm like, look, I don't mind playing a Sassy here and there. Sassy is a really big Persian artist. Okay. Now I will tell you this, for sales, this type of stuff, it's important that you know music. Okay. If you're going to do sales, especially for like weddings and stuff, any client, it's important that you know music. It's important that you're able to just kind of like spout off songs and artists that are popular that, you know, cause that'll impress them. That says to them that you know what you're talking about. You know, you don't have to know every song, but know a few, because there's nothing worse than like, you don't want to be the old guy. They're like, oh, what's that song? I don't know that song. Huh. Let me look at it. Let me open it up. Huh. Okay. That's pretty good. Huh. I'm going to have to add this to my list. You're old as fuck. Okay. And I don't mean you're old as fuck because you're old. We're all getting up there, but you, my man, are old as fuck. Anyway. But yeah, so know the music, but yes, agreed. Oh no, I know there's some bangers for Sassy. That's why I said it. I know, you know, but he was like, I play, he's like, I want some Persian music, but I don't want a lot. And I laughed and he goes, what? I said, okay, so there's this joke amongst, DJs. And the joke is, if you play one Persian song, you're going to have to play 20 Persian songs because they're not going to let you just get away with one Persian song. That's the same thing with Hispanics. Latin people will not get on your butt until you open up the floodgates. Honestly, have you ever been at a place where you're playing, you know, regular, maybe it's like a open format type thing. So you're playing pop and you're playing, you know, regular music, and then you drop one Latin track. You just said, hey guys, I'm down for playing Latin music. That's it. That's it for the night. That's it for the night. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And that goes the same for most ethnic groups, in all honesty. The only ones that don't are just like regular vanilla white people. Yeah. Punjabi music. One song. He played Beware the Boys. So keep that in mind. Okay. You know what I was going to talk about? I was going to talk about the Apple, not the Apple Music. I don't need to talk about that. I was going to talk about the SERATO Sale. I guess I'm just going to have to shoot a video on it. It'll be a quick video. I know Mojax did one, great one, but I'm going to go into a little deeper dive potentially on it. But I was going to talk about it here, but we ran out of time because we were having such an engaging conversation. Okay. You know, we don't have to say this anymore, Ernesto. It always depends on the crowd. It never does not depend on the crowd. So we don't actually have to say that. And you know what? Let's just retire depends on the crowd on this show specifically, because we don't have to say it. It always depends. Always. Anyway. Okay. Let's see here. When you drop it, Mojack's video was just easy. No, but he did a hot off the presses video. And anytime you do a hot off the presses video, there's always things that you're like, I probably could have said this. I probably could have done this. I probably could have done this, because you're just trying to get it out, you know, and there's still a lot of question marks on the purchase. Purchase hasn't happened yet. We could be talking about this and something happens and it doesn't go through again. I hope it does. We need to move forward. We really do need to move forward. The same thing with in music needs to move forward. So this sale is going to help them out. And finally, maybe the products that I know they want to make can be made. Roland and SERATO, I don't even care about DJing with SERATO. That's not my thing. I care more about SERATO Studio and Roland. That's the special thing. SERATO Studio and Roland, and whatever else they open up, if they can come out with a SERATO Studio for maybe like the MPC Live. Oh my God, if they could do that, I'd be a happy man. But I don't really care about mixing off a small little controller. It's cool. It's a cool little option to have, but to me, it's in the production. Production for me is the winner, in all honesty. So it's It's 12:48. We're actually going to end this now. Now. We're going to end this now. It's been a great show. Hey, you guys have been with me for the whole time. I see the numbers. People hopefully have been talking, recommending the stream to their friends. Like I said, I saw it upwards of about 175, 180. I want to get it above 200. I want to get it above 200 every time. So make sure, recommend a friend. If there's something in this video, in this stream that like really helped you out, you can share just that part of the video too. You can share it. Let people know about the show. Thank you so much. I told my talk about the show. Thank you, Jesse, for hanging out. Thank you, Mojax, for hanging out. Appreciate you guys as always. But I do have a 1 o'clock conference call, which I'm very excited to get on. And I'm going to shoot some videos and try to relax a little bit. Yeah, the super chats. There was one super chat. Thank you so much. I apologize. I did see a super chat. That was from... Where'd it go? How do I filter super chats? How do I feel? Maybe T Diesel remembers the super chat. Go live and we'll raid. I don't even know. You know what? Since I'm on OBS, so I don't even know how to send people over. Oh, okay. Well, Wayne, DJ Wayne, thank you so much, fam. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for the super chat. Yeah, there's no way. I'm trying to figure out a way to filter it on this program that I use, but maybe I can do it from the actual chat bot. Anyway, let me look. I'm just curious right now to see if it'll show it. So, what videos do I have coming out? I have a couple of videos. One, there it is, super chat. Okay, let's see what it says here. Thean Den, I think it's Thean Den. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you on that one. So I am going to publish. Now, especially, I'm going to publish my Evolve 70 versus Maui video. That will actually go out within the next hour. I'm not going to wait until my morning. I'm just going to post it. So I'm going to do that. And what else am I going to post? Oh, I need to shoot my Phoenix video for the microphones, Phoenix microphones. These are the videos that are coming out soon. Phoenix. The Phoenix microphone system, color key mover spot 150s. I'm going to talk about that. The Maui versus 70. I'm not going to do the 70 true review yet because I need to hear them on a party. I might bring them with me to a smaller party. I'm not working this weekend, but my son is, so I might give him those. Which mic models? The Phoenix, the True Diversity ones. I don't have it in front of me right now, so I don't have the actual make and model, but it's the Diversity ones. I've been using them for about a month now. Oh, and the DJ video that I've been promising you guys. The DJ video. And I mean the algorithm DJ video that I know you guys have been up my butt about. So we'll do that one too. How do you feel about the viral video of DJs calling out that girl that kept requesting songs? I don't know that I even saw it. I don't know that I saw it yet. You know, algorithms are funny that way. Sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't. So I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see it. The video was too much. Oh, now I really got to see it. Where's it at? Now I need to know. Okay, I will say this. I haven't seen the video, but I know that there is one guy in particular that stops the music a lot to call people out. Maybe I did see it. No, I did see it. I did see that video. But I scrolled through it because I don't like those kinds of videos. I think it's wrong to. I think that for the most part, stopping the music to make a statement. But if the statement is to kind of belittle another person, it only makes you look bad. There's never been a time when I've looked at a video and said, yeah, that guy is well within his rights to talk trash to that person. I've never seen that. Ever. And it's one thing to be like, get on the microphone. Hey guys, I know you guys are all asking for this kind of music. We're playing house tonight. That's all we're playing. So if you don't like this, you can get the hell out. Blah, 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 blah. Yay. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's different. But if somebody's just like, hey, can you play this? Can you play that? And you're like, all right, is this your party? Is this your party? Is this blah, blah, blah? Like, it just comes out. You look like the asshole to me. And I'm the first guy that can be petty as hell. And if you disrespect me, I'm going to let you know. But people are people. People are people. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to ask. That's your job to take requests. Like, when people are like, when they come up to me, especially on private parties, and they're like, so, I know, I don't know if you guys do this or not, but if it's possible, can you take requests from the kids? I'm like, of course we take requests. Oh, you do? Yeah. I mean, even if you don't necessarily play the song, or if you were going to play the song, I'm like, it just makes them feel like they're a part of it. You know, I've legitimately, literally been playing a song and had somebody walk up and say, hey, can you play this song? And I turned my computer around. I'm like, you mean the one that I'm currently playing underneath this? That's why you're probably over here in the first place. Oh yeah. Thank you. I didn't need them, but they feel good. Now, if it becomes a thing where people are just like constantly asking for requests over and over again all night, and it's affecting my ability to do my job, I might be on the microphone being like, hey guys, chill. I got your music. I got your request. Give me some time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. So, hold on. Before we leave, let me see if that was the one that I saw. Yes. Yeah, this is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong on every level. And I get it. I get why he's trying to do that, but it's just wrong on every level. And the amount of time that he took to do that, that's too much. You know? I mean, if you want to use her as an example, like, hey guys, look, this girl just asked for this stuff. It's a great song. I love that song, but we're staying house tonight, or we're staying this tonight. We're only 45 tonight. So no more requests tonight. Just enjoy the party. Let's go. See what I did there? Wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard, but like I said, what I just did there kills every bird with that one stone. You've kind of embarrassed her, made her understand a little bit. You've told people now that are going to potentially come up and ask you for music, hey guys, this is vinyl. I'm not going there. You've showed that you're not into making people look like assholes. You're not looking like an asshole. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Anyway, but that's just me. You guys do what you want. I don't have a DJ company that I've had for the past 17 years or anything. It's cool. All right, y'all. I do have to run because I haven't eaten yet. That could be another reason why I'm a little bit like fine. Although the last couple of shows have been a little bit more fun. I don't care if it was 14 times. I don't care. Like that's what I'm saying. If it's 14 times, then you pull her to the side and you say, look, hey, I know you want to hear this song. I get it. But this is a vinyl party. I can't do it. I won't do it because it doesn't work with what I'm playing tonight. I'm sorry. That's it. Now, if they kept coming back up, I'd be like, yo, and then I put somebody in front of them. But I'm never getting on the microphone. It does not make them look bad. It makes you look bad every time. Every time. Every time. Okay. You ever get into a fight with your wife or your significant other? You ever get into a fight? You ever raise your voice in public? Does it matter to anybody that sees it that you might have been completely in the right? Does it matter? No. People just see you raising your voice to the woman. You automatically lose. Automatically. So be smart. And yes, that's why we do have security. And I've done that before, especially with, like I said, with Latin parties. You play a Latin, all of a sudden they're, hey, play Bad Bunny, play Bad Bunny, play Bad Bunny. At a certain point, I'm like, security, just stand here and just stop them so I can do my job. That's it. Anyway, please do and send it to me. But I do have to go, guys, because I do need to eat and everything else. I've fasted enough. It's time for me to go eat. I thank you guys for obviously always being on the show. I appreciate you. You guys are fantastic. I love it. I love our conversations. And like I said, this is one of those things that I make a point that I do every single Thursday. And I thank you guys for coming. But let's reciprocate that and let's try to get this channel to be even bigger. You know, I'd like to see this at least 200, but in reality, with the amount of DJs we have, well, I guess DJs that want to listen, this number should be higher, just in general. So thank you guys for coming out today. I appreciate you. Hopefully you guys have great parties. If you do have great parties, I'm going on a date with my wife on Friday night, which I'm very excited for. And on Saturday, I'm going to go watch some of my DJs on parties and see how they're doing. So thank you guys so much. Have great parties. Have great weekends. See you soon. Peace out.